What's up, everybody? So today, I've had a few things happen, and I'm going to make a couple videos because I find some of it fascinating. But today, I'm going to start with power. I want to talk about power, how power works. So, this concept of power is basically competition. So when you're thinking of power, you're thinking of competition, because the reality is people who actually like each other or love each other and truly love each other, they don't play the power game. They're not trying to get one up, or they're not scoring. I call it scoring points, right? Where you say something and somebody else says something, you guys are raising the ante. Basically, you're just scoring points like in basketball. So that's competition. Power comes from intellectual competition, okay? So the question is, how do you win at intellectual competition in the world? How do you beat the system? My opinion, and then listen, this stuff is all my opinion, but from what I've come to rationalize, I've rationalized it pretty much how the Bible says it, right? The Bible says, give up your earthly possessions, right? Give up your earthly possessions. So I'm going to tell you my history. When I was 7 years old, I lost my dad to Agent Orange, by the way, which was a government screw up where they were spraying the vegetation fields in Vietnam, and they took out a process and basically killed a bunch of people, and no one ever got held accountable. So then the most common ones, my first marriage, my ex-wife, we're not going to talk about her, we're going to talk about power. So basically we got divorced for whatever reasons, and I wasn't a perfect human being, so don't think that I was, because I already know that I'm not. I already know I'm faulted. I agree with that, and at least I can admit it, unlike some people. So my first ex-wife and I got into this huge fight about my kids, right? I wanted 50-50 custody. She basically was, well, I have a video of it. Her parents gave her a credit card and told her to run the bill up as high as they could to take my kids away. Ultimately, after I fought for years in the court system and represented myself for years and learned a lot about courts, three trials, the judge ordered a moratorium on my case, subsequently making it so that no one could file anything and my ex-wife could just do what she wanted. So I basically never saw my kids again, and they told me they never wanted to see me again. So that's basically what happened. So then let's get to the next big event, would be my job. So I worked at the fire department for 20 years. My most recent job was with Charlotte County government, in which case I upset a deputy chief and his girlfriend, and I made a complaint the way you're supposed to, following the rules, because I'm a rules guy. I like rules. Well, I like when rules are actually followed. So, made a complaint, and basically they didn't want to hear about it. They didn't care that what happened. They didn't care that I was ambushed. They didn't care about the rules. They literally didn't care about the rules. And because I made a stink about it, they decided that they were going to teach me a lesson. They were going to punish me and terrorize me for 3.5 years. Really, 3.5 years. And of course, me, because I refused to back down, especially from behavior like that, I didn't back down, because I don't back down. But I learned the rules, and I use the rules, and I apply the rules to precision. Actually, I had my HR director tell me that if I break a rule, I will be punished greater than anyone else. And this is the best. If someone else actually breaks a rule and I don't catch it, I will be punished for them too. And that's exactly what they did. So after 3 years, I had enough of being treated disrespectfully. I had enough of being treated like an animal and being told things like, just fall in line and just take it. I actually got told Your employer, this was my HR director, your employer is going to punish you, just take it. Got told by my lieutenant, your write-up that they did no investigation on is going to be in your file for a year. Oh, for insubordination, by the way, which is fireable, but somehow it's your write-up is going to be in your file for a year, just take it. Well, I don't just take it. That's just not the way I work. So I'm not a just take it kind of guy, but I'm a rule guy and I like rules. So I decided to defend myself. And I had to learn a lot about philosophy and the law and where the law came from, stuff like that. So most recently, now I have my soon-to-be ex-wife took a bunch of money over a period of a year as all this was going down with my previous employer. And right when I just got put on administrative leave before they separated me for, quote, my ADHD accommodations are deemed unreasonable. Yes, they actually wrote that in a letter. Well, they wrote that my accommodations are unreasonable. So same thing. And now they're under federal charges from the EEOC. My wife, my soon-to-be ex-wife, decides to take all this money and then hire a couple of attorneys and not disclose where all the money went, even though I've already proven to the court that the money is missing and they are failing to produce the rest of the documents. I actually had a judge put an order to have my house sold out from under me without a financial accounting, depriving me of my property. And then when I told her she's going to make me homeless, because right now I'm in transition with EEOC and everything else, she literally told me she took offense. A judge, an elected judge official, is literally violating the majority of the Constitution of the United States of America while she's elected and telling me she's offended that I actually called her out on it. Because see, that's where the power thing comes from. Because it's about power. I'm just giving you examples. These are my examples. We all have our own story. We are all dealing with this type of behavior every day. All of us. We're all in the same bucket. And we don't understand why. We don't understand that it's not the person next to you that's really the problem, no matter what their color, creed, religion, or whatever else it is. It's the people that are riling us up to look at each other. Why? Because of power. So what do they tell you? Don't complain. Fall in line. Why? And you know you're intimidated, right? You know you're scared. You're like, man, I don't want to lose my job. Like, it's a good job. I don't want to, I got a family to feed. I got this, I got that. Yep, had all that stuff. Yep, got it. So, here is how power works. Power is never taken from you. Power is given away. It is leveraged away from you. You have all your power. You have your independent sovereignty. You have your commonwealth and your constitution of the person that you are. Power is when the people who want to take from you or want you to fall in line leverage your stuff. So let me run back through. I was leveraged with my children. So I decided to stand up and fight and do the right thing for 17 years. Largest family law case in Sarasota County history. Therefore, giving up my children. I had to let them go. And I did, because I did it the right way, and I did the right thing, and I can look in the mirror. Does it hurt? Yeah, it hurts. Is it fair? Nope. Welcome to unfair. So, my job. I had to accept the fact that my employer, Charlotte County government, was never gonna not steal my job from me. Oh, by the way, when you're a government employee, your job is actually your property too. It's basically deeded to you, which means it was theft, it was stolen. So, all government employees, by the way, that's why you have a higher responsibility. Well, that's a whole nother lecture. So, I had to accept that they were angry, they were mad, and they were going to steal my career from me, which they did. The judge, the lawyers, and it's not, listen, this isn't even about my soon-to-be ex-wife. Actually, I feel bad for her because it's the judge and lawyers that are responsible for this behavior, not her. She's just a person, and she doesn't know what to do. She doesn't even know what legal is. But she went to people who were legal, and she went to people who made oaths to the Constitution. She went to people who raised their hand and took an oath to defend. So they're the ones responsible. That's who's responsible. The people who have responsibility are responsible. That's why they have to take an oath. So they are now trying to steal. First, they stole my wealth, or my riches, not my wealth, because wealth to me is knowledge and riches is money. So I have to separate those. So they stole my riches that I earned fairly. And now they're taking my house that's deeded to me illegally. And because I called them out on it, because I called the judges out on it, I now have the police showing up at my house. Yes, the police are coming to my house because the judge and whoever is making complaints. That is called intimidation. That is called leveraging my freedom. So now, if I don't stop calling out the judge, and I don't stop calling out the lawyers, and I don't comply with their illegal, immoral, unethical, and tyrannical behavior, they're going to take my freedom. So the question is, how much do I value my freedom against how much do I value my ethical and moral compass? Well, I've given up my children. I've given up my riches. I've given up my wife. I've basically given up everything I've ever earned or worked for or strived for. I've given it all away just on principle. I fully intend to give up my freedom because I'll be damned if I'm going to let a bunch of goons leverage it from me with intimidation. And I will never stop. I will never stop calling you out. I will never stop putting you on display. And I will never back down. I will never bow and I will never bend, because freedom is the power to speak your mind and tell the truth and feel good about it. I don't have to fight you with weapons. I don't have to shoot up the place. All I have to do is call you out. And when you do it, and you do it to my detriment, I'm going to call you out. If this is the road you want to go down, I hope you're prepared to go all the way. Because I promise you, I'm not even afraid of death. God bless you guys. You need to think about what power really is and how it's leveraged against you. If you want to be happy, go find some freedom.